Greetings to my community of grant writers, nonprofits, business owners, and anyone who's thinking about starting a business. This is W.C. Ballard. I'm your nonprofit executive, step-by-step CEO, and today we're continuing our series on comparing different business models as well as elements of different proposals and business plans. Today, the LLC versus the sole proprietor, or also called sole proprietorship. And we're going to show you 7 major differences as well as include a downloadable comparison chart. So, what are the 7 differences that I'm going to go over with you? Ownership and control, the formation process, liabilities, taxes, the cost that it takes to start, your paperwork, and your credibility. So a sole proprietorship and a limited liability company are 2 of the most common ways to structure a small business, but they differ in very important ways that you need to know about when you're making a decision. So the sole proprietorship is the simplest form of business ownership. It's owned and operated by one individual, and legally there's no separation between the owner and the business. While an LLC, on the other hand, is a separate legal entity that's created by filing formation paperwork, documents with your state and with the federal government. So in a sole proprietorship, the owner keeps all the profits, but is also personally responsible for all the debts, the taxes, and your legal liabilities, whereas the LLC is what we call a limited liability protection corporation, and the owner or owners are generally not personally liable for the businesses or the debts or any lawsuits that might incur. Examples of the 7 differences, I'm going to share a story about Sarah and James. These are fictitious people, but I'm using them as an example because I believe it's a better way of explaining the differences. So Sarah, she starts a small bakery as a sole proprietor, and James opens a coffee shop as an LLC. Number 1, the ownership and control. Sarah is the sole owner of her bakery. Everything she earns belongs solely to her, and all decisions are hers alone. James also owns his own business. He owns a coffee shop. But because he chose an LLC, the business exists as a separate legal entity from himself. He still runs the shop, but legally it is the LLC, not James himself, that owns the business. Number 2, how they formed their businesses. Sarah's path, it was very simple. She just registered her business name with her city and got the necessary local licenses, and voila, she was ready to go. While James had to file articles of organization or articles of corporations with his state, he had to pay a filing fee and create an operating agreement to outline how the LLC would be managed. Number 3, liability. One big difference shows up when it comes to risk. So let's say a customer gets sick from a pastry that he purchased from Sarah. She could be personally sued, and her house, savings, all her assets, car, etc., might be at risk. James, on the other hand, he has liability protection in the same scenario. So if someone sues the coffee shop, only the LLC's assets are at stake, not James' personal ones. This is a very important one for you to consider. Now, number 4, let's talk about the taxes. Now, when tax seasons come, Sarah simply reports her bakery's income and expenses on her personal tax return. using a Schedule C. Just like you and I might file our tax returns, she does the same thing. She pays self-employment tax, Social Security, and Medicare using her Schedule SE. Federal income tax is paid at individual rates, not corporate. James, by default of being an LLC, he has what's called pass-through taxation. What does that mean? That means that the profits of his LLC pass through from the corporation to his personal return. So unlike Sarah, James has an option to choose a different tax structure, such as an S corporation, a C corporation, if it benefits him financially. So he can evaluate which one he wants to choose, while Sarah doesn't have those same options. So let's talk for a minute about what is pass-through taxation. That means no double taxation. What does that mean? Well, let's say you operate with a close associate in a partnership, and your company's income for the year is $200,000 and business expenses are $50,000, giving you $150,000 profit. As you have shared ownership of the business, you and your partner will each claim $75,000 of income, half and half. Remember, they're 50-50 partners, on your personal return. Again, there's no business level income tax. So both of these examples show how simple and direct can be. But that doesn't mean it's right for everyone. You have to look at the whole picture, and you may want to consult an attorney for that. For that. So number 5, what was the cost to start up? Sarah's startup expenses very low. She only had to register the business name with a local government and purchase the necessary licenses and permits to operate legally. These fees were minimal, so she's able to get started quickly as well as cheaply. James' experience was a little different. He was required to file official paperwork with the state, the Articles, again, of Organization or Corporation, which came with a filing fee. Depending on the state, this fee can range from $50 to several $100s. On top of that, he decided to draft the operating agreement that's highly recommended so that he paid for legal help to do it properly, and he also set aside money for the annual LLC maintenance fees, which vary by state, but often cost anywhere from $100 to $500 each year. So paperwork. Sarah spends very little on startup costs beyond her business license, so she files her annual license state fees and she decides on what her paperwork's going to be. Of course, both entities would need to, what I would advise, to have something like a QuickBooks or some type of accounting software where they can really manage themselves properly. But that's Sarah's choice. James pays his state filing fees, creates his LLC each year. He has to file his annual report, pay a renewal fee. His record keeping is also more formal as a corporation for both the federal and the state, especially if he has multiple partners and can be subject to an audit. Number 7, credibility and growth. When Sarah applies for a small business loan, the bank sees her bakery as a sole proprietorship, a simple setup that may feel less established and maybe less credible for him to give her maybe a business loan. Whereas James' LLC presents itself as a more separate, more formal business entity, and this often gives lenders and investors and even customers more confidence in working with him. And of course, this is your choice. This is how you choose. And it's, of course, something that you would choose on your own, on which one you will prefer. You may take the chance as being the sole proprietor versus going through the motion of setting up the LLC. So, comparison chart of the LLC versus 501c. As you can see, Everything that I just went over with you, I put it on a chart where you can, at a glance, look at what's better for you as a sole proprietor or as a LLC. And if you want to download this chart, it is free, and you can go to my website, podio.com, and you can look at the free downloadables that I have for different videos, as well as the comparison chart for this particular topic. So summary, to say it all, sole proprietorship is easier and cheaper to start, but offers no personal liability protection. LLC costs more, takes more paperwork, takes more time, but protects your personal assets and often gives you more credibility. As you can see below, there's my free templates for grant writing step by step, where you can download this information if you choose. So if you want to learn more, subscribe, because I have a lot of videos on all these different comparisons of businesses. But if you really want to dive in deeply and become a business owner or a nonprofit manager or administrator or a grant writer, any of those three, you can go on and take my classes at podio.com. I have the links below, both for the templates that I share with you, as well as grant writing classes, where we could go deep into writing a proposal, a business plan, worksheets, checklists, do's and don'ts, and you can become actually a professional at what you decide to do, and that's important. That's why I share this with you. I hope that you like my program, what I share with you, and you will subscribe and you will continue to grow, because that's my goal. You grow, I grow, and we both grow together. This is W.C. Ballard checking out.